Hello, Wardbord. My name is Jonathan Cromwell. I am the creator of Wardbord. I coached high school football for 9 years. I've been out for 4 or 5 years. But my wife and I, we live in McKinney with our three boys, Rocky, Rhett, and Raiden. And so, first of all, I just want to say thank you for coming to our website. Thank you for clicking on the View Lightning Demo button. And I'm so appreciative of that. This is a welcome to the website video, and I want you to know a little bit more about Wardbord before you watch this quick 2-minute lightning demo. And we're keeping it short. There's so many features, so many things that you're going to love about Wardbord. We try to keep it as short as possible. There'll be some things if you were to use Wardbord with your team this next season. There'll be some things when you get in there that you're pleasantly surprised and pleasantly excited about some of the things that it does. But Wardbord does exactly what you're doing already, right? And so let me do a quick screen share over here, and I'm going to share my screen. Come over here, boom. And let me turn this up. Okay, so Wardbord is it's a tool for coaches to evaluate high school football players and thus providing focused feedback. This is our tagline: focused feedback for every position on every play for better performance. And so what you see up top is some of the mobile screens on the mobile device that your players will download for free on the Android and the Apple Store. And what you're seeing there are actual screens where the library, you have the games. They click on the games. They can go to individual play feedback and communication from their coaches. There's a little bit of gamification involved in Wardbord. You got some data visualization, but all of that's in the mobile app. That comes from the coaches on their laptops. Essentially, down here is that screen. That's where coaches are providing feedback on every single play, where in the past we've done that on notebook paper, sometimes spreadsheets, sometimes verbally, sometimes through text messages. But the coaches are down here. Essentially, when your staff is done evaluating or watching film that next morning and you guys finalize, that sends out a push notification to your players on their mobile devices. No matter where they are, they'll have access to that feedback on their phone. So there's a very super quick overview of Wardbord as a tool. And here's a few things I want you to leave this with before you move forward and go actually watch Wardbord work a little bit in the lightning demo on the next screen. But Wardbord is going to elevate the football IQ of every player on the field, right? So we all have these, hopefully we have these studs, right, that are out. They're going to go out, they're going to make it happen. Maybe they're great students of the game, right? They do have great football IQs, but the wins that comes from elevating the football IQ of every player on your team, right? I once heard a really great football coach say that we work towards making sure that all of our average high school football players are smarter and better football players than the other team's average high school football players. And so that's always stuck with me, dating all the way back to my day as an Ennis Lion, where we won multiple state championships with Coach Sam Harrell and staff, right? Great staff, right? Coach Walker, Coach Willingham, Coach Morrow, Kalanick, lots of legendary coaches have been there with on that staff. So anyways, Wardbord is going to allow you to grade every position on assignment and effort, right? Every position, that's a part of every position's evaluating and every grading. You can score a whole lot of touchdowns, beat a team by 50, and still not necessarily execute your assignment exactly how it was supposed to be coached. So we already do that. Coaches already are evaluating film. Now you have a platform that's going to allow you to grade every position on every assignment and effort. Essentially, coaches are able to provide immediate feedback, instant coach to player feedback on every play, and that shows up on the players on their mobile devices. One thing that you'll experience, you're going to see this play out with Wardbord this next season, is the consistent development through individualized learning. And so when I say individualized learning, if you think about it, every every part of the world that we live in provides individualized learning, individualized feedback, except for high school football. Like usually it's in a group setting, usually verbally, a coach verbally commuting in a group setting. Coaches aren't, they just don't have the time, right, to give every player feedback on every single play that they were involved in. Right now, we're usually taking notes. We're usually writing down a lot of notes. But when there's 75 or 80 plays in a game, you might take notes on 40 or 50 of them, or it just depends on how you do it. But so the individualized learning that happens with Wardbord, what you're going to experience is consistent development throughout the season, where the evaluation of the right things are happening that are going to move your team forward. Huddle, you see the logo down at the bottom, super powerful platform. It is a video analytic tool, and Wardbord is going to enhance those video analytics with performance analytics. And so that's the differentiation between the two. You're using Huddle still, and you're using Wardbord as the performance analytic tool that's going to enhance the video analytics that come from Huddle. And then my favorite line, and then I'm going to wrap up and let you go on to the next screen to watch the lightning demo, is Wardbord's going to help you win more games with a competitive learning advantage. That's your advantage over other teams, is what I refer to as the Wardbord competitive learning advantage. There's a compound effect. There's a residual improvement that you're going to see as your players engage in the learning process like they never really have before. It's exciting to them. This idea is new. This is fresh. They get feedback that they can refer back to on their phone all weekend for 48 hours if you don't bring them in on Saturday. There's about 50-50, I feel like, is what I hear from coaches these days. But this Wardbord competitive learning advantage is what's going to keep your players tuned in when they are beating somebody by 50 points and maybe they didn't execute their assignment, or maybe their effort wasn't what it should have been. Maybe they lowered their performance to the standard of their opponent, or whatever that be. But this is the tool that's going to keep your learning moving forward in a positive direction to make sure that your team is going to peak at the right time this season, right? That peaking at the right time, that's important, right? It's important physically, but it's also important mentally. So keep that in mind. Everything at the bottom, with the exception of Huddle, these are the things that Wardbord is replacing. These are outdated teaching methods, communication methods that Wardbord's replacing. So notes on a notebook pad that often will get filed at a desk in the end, or trashed when they're done, and when a coach is done and ready to move on to the next week. We're replacing that. We're replacing spreadsheets. We are replacing the verbal communication on the practice field. Not really replacing that, right? We're giving you somewhere to put that feedback in advance. I know coaches are still going to do their thing out on the practice field and in a meeting room, but we're expediting that, and we're putting that information in front of your players way sooner and for way longer, forever, right? No more filing of your notes. Wardbord is your file. Yeah, it is an accumulation of feedback and data for you coaches as well. And no, you don't need to text your players feedback in a text message, which gets annoying. It gets lost, et cetera, right? So no more text messages. All of that's going to go out on Wardbord through to their mobile devices, and then magic starts to happen. You'll have this aha moment when you realize the Wardbord competitive learning advantage made a difference in your season, this next 2022 season. So thank you so much for watching. Please go watch our lightning demo. You'll have an opportunity to set up a discovery call. After that, if you want to learn more, ask questions, see what our vision is, where are we going with this at Wardbord, and hopefully get set up and ready to roll for this first 2022 season. Thank you so much, and we will talk to you later.